Welcome to Latina Mic Drop, the podcast where you can show up and show out, where bold moves are not only encouraged, but the standard. This is where excellence meets simplicity and common sense. I'm Miriam Simon, your host, a leadership coach, author, speaker, a mom of three young adults, a grandma in my 40s, and a spouse to the most beautiful, kind soul, on a mission to empower 1 million people to continue to tap into their exponential power. If you're out there building your own family and your own future from scratch, you're in the right place. Join me as we explore the stories, strategies, and secrets that can turn your hustle into legacy and peace of mind. Ready to transform your life? Let's get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Latina Mic Drop. And I'm really grateful today because I am having my granddaughter's birthday, which is awesome. She turned 6 years old, and I'm really excited for her birthday. And also, my dog Miko turns 2 years old. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really grateful for both of them because both of them have their birthday on my mother's birthday. And so, something that is really hard for me to talk about, but I'll share, is that my mom has not accepted my relationship with my wife fully. And so, it's been a very complicated relationship to have. And the other part of it is that my mom has a different religion, so she does not celebrate birthdays or Mother's Day. It's been really difficult to experience having a mom and having Mother's Days and having a good relationship with her. And it's just a blessing that ever since my granddaughter Lily was born on my mother's birthday, I've been able to celebrate my granddaughter every single year since. And so it's really special time because it helps me get through the day a little bit easier because I do think about my mom a lot, but we just don't connect in a way because of who I am. It's just so special. And recently my kids are all in their 20s, so they are, living their life, doing their thing as they should. And so, for me, I was just so used to taking care of my kids that once I realized, hey, Miriam, your role here is different, you really aren't going to continue on that path of being full time, there to support your kids 24/7. Now they are in their 20s, they're on their own, they make their own decisions, they need me less than before. I was home trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to focus on in my early 40s? And now it's like, okay, so your role as a mom is changing. You have a lot of free time. My wife works different shifts. For the past 2 years, she's been working afternoons, nights, evenings. I was just thinking, well, what can I do, or what can I focus on? And so prior to my writing and all the focus that I've been doing as a Forbes Coaches Council member, putting in expert panels and writing my book and writing, I was like, well, you know what? I've never really been alone all this time since I was a kid. I've never been alone. I'm the oldest of seven. Then as soon as I turned 18, I had my son. And then I had my daughter a year and a half later. Then I had my other daughter a year and a half later. And since then, I've been raising them. I'm alone. What can I do? As a little kid, I always dreamt about having my own puppy. One weekend, I convinced my wife to agree. She was like, okay, go for it, right? And so I was just looking. What type of dog do I get? What do I do? What kind? Obviously, I didn't do all my research because I have a little crazy baby, but he's feisty, he's funny, he cracks me up. But the good thing is that he's tiny. My wife did say, hey, as long as he's little, let's not get a big dog, a little one. So I said, okay, fine. And actually, the way that I convinced her was like, can we have a baby, or can I get a dog? And she was like, no, you can have the dog. So I said, okay, fine. And I was looking. I found somebody who can actually bring it to the local airport here in Newark. And what convinced me was the fact that the dog's birthday was the same as my mother's birthday as well. And so I said, "Oh yeah, that's it. That's my dog." And now at this point, I hadn't seen my mom in a while, or hadn't talked to her in a while either. And not that this replaces her at all. It's just something that helps me get through it and gives me a little bit of comfort. And it kind of like signifies her day, right? And I can give my dog and love my granddaughter and love my family and my dog at the same time on that date, because I do remember it and I do keep it in my heart. And I'm just so grateful for them, because it's just been so different. Even my granddaughter, when she came, we were all like busy working. I'm working, my wife's working. The kids are all, either getting ready to finish high school or finishing high school. And unfortunately, my mother in law had just passed. And so then when Lily came into our lives, it was such a joyful time, because she brought so much love and happiness and just a lot of love and fun. Like, we party with her, we dance with her, my wife and I. She comes upstairs, she uses my printer, we print things. Yesterday, we actually recorded a podcast. It was so funny. We were just laughing together, having a great time. And, that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about gratefulness and how grateful shows up in our lives in different ways. Being alive is one of them. When I was a kid, at 17 years old, before I became a mother, my boyfriend at the time, we had known each other for a long time. He passed away. And so it was a out of body experience for me, because I was actually there when it happened. But I'm just so lucky to be alive. And I'm so lucky to be here with you all, so many years later, now in my 40s, that I can talk about all these different experiences and be able to have this podcast, which I never even dreamed of doing. It's just something that I wanted recently, and I've always loved to like record myself, and when I was a kid, I always used to do that all the time. And it's so funny now that I actually record myself. uh you know it's just so interesting that all these years have culminated to this moment where I've been facilitating different events and been able to participate in employee business resource groups, and I've gained a lot of experience even in my regular job. I host meetings monthly with various individuals, sometimes up to 100. And I'm just so grateful for everything that I'm able to do now. And my kids are adults now, and they're on their own. We still help them, and they're young, they're still in their 20s, but we're still around and we're still able to do all of these things. And so I want to talk about like different ways that we experience gratefulness, and maybe sometimes we're just kind of like going, and we don't even realize how gratefulness shows up in our life. And so the first one that I want to talk about is our relationships, right? I mean, like, I've been with my wife for 18 years. I mean, just to say that is insane. We've been together since our 20s. I don't even know how we got here, but what I do know is that we have just been there for each other through all our different experiences, through all our flaws, through our immaturity, through our growing up together. Now we're in a different phase in our lives, and we're really enjoying life. We work hard. We don't compete with each other. We make sure that whatever it is that she needs, I can offer it, and vice versa. And we've been able to manage what it is that we've been going through and navigate the different experiences. Sometimes she made more money, sometimes I made more money, but we always figured it out. And our main goal was to raise our kids and not to live the same life that other people were. And our, not that it's anything bad, it's just that we wanted something better, we wanted something different. We knew that we had opportunities and we knew that we could make it. So just supporting each other and being able to be together has been one of the best experiences of my life, because it's just been so rewarding to be able to have that person that can compliment you, can support you. Like, she helped me raise my kids. It's insane. Like, now they're her kids too because of all these years we've been together. But it's just so amazing to be able to do that. And all the other relationships that I've been able to have, like the ones that I have with my daughters and my son, it's like just seeing them as young women, and my young man. It is, I love my children so much. That's why it was so hard for me to transition out of being a full-time mom. Like, where I worked was a factor, even, right? I worked in Newark, which was 20 minutes from home, because I wanted to make sure that if they needed me, I would be able to get out of work and go pick them up. And at one point, I needed to make the decision while they were teenagers, which is one of the hardest things to do. One of the hardest times to raise kids is when they're teens. I was just thinking, oh my goodness, like, is it going to be okay if I go work in New York? And thankfully, because I have the support system with my kids and we have a great relationship, and also with my family, my sisters, who all helped me raise my kids from when they were babies. I mean, they all helped me tremendously. My brother helped me take care of my kids when my shift was changed. It's a great thing to be able to have support, especially when you have kids. And I had my kids very young. By 23, I had all three. It's really a great thing to be able to have the support system when you're young and navigating motherhood and navigating all these different experiences on your own, raising your kids, going to work, finding a babysitter, driving, going back and forth. It was me and three kids. And then when my wife joined us, thankfully, that was a lot easier for us to navigate. And they really have been my teachers all these years, because each of them have taught me really great lessons. And without them, I wouldn't be the caring, loving person that I am, because they all bring a different perspective and they all are so different that you just really learn how to accommodate different people learn differently, people think differently, and it's just really been incredible to be their parent. And other relationships that I'm really grateful for are the ones that I've made throughout the years. I've been lucky that I've had a lot of great people throughout my career help me. So these are like the unseen anchors, people that come in and out of my life who were integral to my success, to my career, to all the different things that I've been able to accomplish. A lot of times you think you do this on your own, you don't. People are around helping you, supporting you, even if they have a conversation with you and you don't even realize it's anything major, but it changes your life. Those are the kinds of things that you really need to take a step back and say, wow, like, this person really helped me. I had a person who helped me make the decision to go work in New York. I asked him about his experience. How was it? What did he do? How did he do it? What was it like going over there for a year and then coming back, right? What was that experience like? And then just different relationships in the employer business resource groups. That was incredible to be able to do so much within the groups. And there's just so many new relationships I've been able to gain this last year that I decided that I wanted to reach wider, not higher. And I'm very grateful for all the women and men who have come into my life recently. Some of them, I go to a lot of different events, networking events, so that I can meet new people, find new friends. Now that I'm a coach, I'm doing different kinds of work, and I want to be able to build my network, right? I want to be able to work with other people, find other Latinas. Like, I only know a few and at work, so there aren't too many. And so I wanted to find them. I was like searching for them. And so now I'm just so happy that I've been able to find them, because now I'll be co-leading Lean in Latinas New York. That's exciting. I'm really happy because now the women that I see on social media, now I'll be able to meet with them and talk to them and get to know them, learn from them. There's just so many inspiring things that we can do together, as well as impactful things for others, which is one of the main drivers that I look for in anything that I'm a part of. Anything that I'm a part of, I want it to have impact. I want it to have momentum. I want the women to feel successful. And the men too. The majority of my work is with women, but if the men that join, it's just incredible to see how collectively we can gain momentum and all the impact that we can have by joining in a mission, a vision of, being there for each other and trying to change the statistics for Latinos and Latinas and women in general. There's just so much out there for us to do that is just amazing for, all the impact that we can make. The second thing that I'd like to talk about being grateful is being healthy. Without our body, without our mind, without our heart, we wouldn't be able to work or function or do many things. A few years ago, I hurt my ankle. It was fractured and it wasn't broken or anything, but it was in the part of the bone, weight bearing. So I wasn't able to walk for 3 months, and I was stuck here in this room on this chair, rolling around my bedroom, crawling up the stairs. That time for me was eye opening, because I had to rely on my kids, rely on my wife, and I am such an independent person that it was hard for me to do that. But in reality, there was just no way I could do it on my own. And it felt really good to have all of them help me during my time, where I couldn't get around and I couldn't move. And I had to navigate myself like on the street on a scooter. And it was just something. But what I did is I focused on what I could control and made sure that I was able to do what I could, right? And so then at work, what I did is I had this development program, and I was able to participate in every single session for 3 different cohorts. The other part of it too is, like, years ago, maybe like 2012, I hurt my right knee and I wasn't able to run anymore, or wasn't able to do high impact workouts. So that is when you're not able to walk or go and get around, or you don't feel good, right? During the pandemic, when I got sick, it was really horrible. Every year you get the flu, or now we get COVID. Those type of feelings, it's tough. And some of us, have chronic illnesses, and it's hard to get around. So even though, however it is that we feel, is just so helpful, and I'm just so grateful to be able to be healthy. A third thing that I'm really grateful for is all the life experiences that I've been able to live through. On actually getting married to my wife, like, I don't even think my wife and I have a picture on social media, because we were just so private about it. But we are just so happy to be married. Imagine back in the day, we couldn't get married because it was illegal. And just to think that it might become illegal again, like, I mean, I can't even imagine it becoming that, but it's a possibility. But at the same time, I'm just really happy that we were able to have that and do it with our kids and my granddaughter there. And different achievements, right? So like think about all the achievements that you've had and celebrate yourself, even small wins, like small wins, like getting up or doing an extra mile or walking around the block. I mean, for me now I'm able to walk twice around the block, maybe go a little bit faster than before. I've dropped like 40 pounds and now I can move a lot quicker. I was still going like one step at a time down the stairs. And now I'm able to go faster down the stairs. My daughter the other day was like, Mom, you're coming down pretty quick. You are right there. Yeah, I'm okay. Like I'm really starting to get myself back together, being able to move a little bit more. And a lot of the different experiences are also like awards I've won. I've won the Hispanic Achiever Award. And so like it just reminded me of like when I was a kid and I used to win like perfect attendance. So perfect attendance, pretty easy. You just show up to school, right? But that's important. And different life experiences. I mean, like this, just being able to take my granddaughter and my kids and just be able to sit all of us together with all of our busy schedules. They all have different work that they do. And the baby goes to school. And well, she doesn't like me to call her babies. We have a challenge at home that we can't call her a baby. She's turning 6. It's just really nice to be able to sit and have dinner with everyone because we all have busy schedules. Something else that I'd like to talk about is also the acts of kindness. I mean, how many of us really practice acts of kindness? We really should. I always come to wherever I'm headed and I think about it, like let me not, because sometimes we do have people that we just don't like or we don't get along with or we have a different perspective on. Like that's what I focus on, is that maybe we just don't see eye to eye, or we have a different personality, or because of our experiences we're guarded, or whatever it might be, right? Our styles are just different in communication, in how we do things, how we handle things, our perspectives. And so it's always just a good, like see people for who they are, you know, s- uh, assume good intent. You just never know. Like people are really out here going through things and we don't know what their day was like. This reminds me of my customer service days when I used to work at the airport. And we were taught to think, like we don't know where they're going. We don't know where they came from, right? Are they headed to a funeral? Are they headed to a wedding? Did something tragic just happen in their lives? Are they going to celebrate something? And then if they don't get on their flight or they were late, did they miss the event, or was it something that they were excited to be at when they came back, or they're excited to go? So you just never know what people are going through, and so it's always important to treat people with kindness, even the people that sometimes may not even deserve it sometimes, right? Like I was always taught. I had a good coworker who always used to talk to me when I used to work at the airport, and she would always tell me, Miriam, just kill them with kindness. Everything is going to be okay. Always go with your head up high and take the high road. Don't stoop to other people's levels. She was always such a great person. I wonder how she's doing. I actually should reach out to her and see how she's been and how's everything going. And she was always so helpful to me, and she taught me that lesson to treat people with kindness. And there's always you can see, sometimes you witness them at work, sometimes you're the receiving end of people who are kind to you. And especially during this time, the holiday time, like try to kick it into high gear, because you don't know what people are going through. Some people may be remembering a family member who's no longer here with them, and so that's tough. Or friend, it might remind them of something and we just don't know what they're going through, and sometimes they may be in a mood and we just don't know why. So always think about what it could be, and I don't pry. If people are feeling some kind of way, I let them be. And I just ask, how can I support them? The other thing that makes me and helps me feel grateful is being able to help. What I do is I always try to make opportunities for volunteering and giving back. That's why I participate in the Lean In Latinas New York, because that's volunteer. That's all volunteer work. And it's fine because I love to be surrounded by other women. I love to support other people who are looking to do, great things. And we really just need a community to be able to live in this chaotic world and not pay attention to all the nonsense, right? And so, like, how do you practice gratefulness in your life? And you can practice it by limiting comparisons. So this one is a big one for me, because the minute you start to compare yourself to another person, you're really comparing yourself to somebody who you're never going to be. You're never going to be that person. You are who you are, and you're unique and special in that way, and you're worthy wherever it is that you are in your life. And so are they. Everybody has different experiences that have led up to the current day. And so why compare yourself to people who have different life experiences? They come from different backgrounds, they have different experiences that they've had. What I do is if they're ahead of where I'm at, what I do is I study them, and I try to see, what is it that I can learn from them that would be helpful for me. Some things you can take with you, some things you don't, some things fit you, some things don't. But limit the comparisons, especially on social media. Sometimes I'm like crying in my bed and I'm posting something that's from the heart, right? And sometimes you're trying to feel better about something that was going on, and you kind of, you just it's just don't compare yourself. You just never know what people are going through, and you don't know what their experiences are. And think about where you are and go back to those times and think about what it was. Like, think about a moment in time where you went through something tough, or you had to get over a hurdle. And what did you do, right? What mindset were you in? What environment were you in? So maybe you can put yourself back into that mindset, or put yourself back into that kind of environment, or what was different that you were able to get through it, as opposed to not being able to now. But the comparing, that really, really is going to hurt you, because you're not them, they're not you. We all bring something different, and we're all at different places in our lives. You could be the same age, born the same day, in the same area, but we have different parents, we have different upbringing, we have different perspectives, we have different experiences. We walk through life very differently. And so even our head, like what we think about, what we experience, what we want, what we do, is all different. Limit the comparisons. The other way that we can be grateful is by being consistent. Sometimes for me, it was really hard to be consistent with gratefulness, like to be thankful, because I was going through it. So during those times is when you have to really tap into it, because it was really, really hard sometimes to be grateful for anything, because I felt like everything was going wrong or my life was upside down. And we do have those moments, right? But it's a matter of us taking a look and possibly shifting our perspective, right? The only person that you can control is you. Can't control other people. And other people show you their true colors, and sometimes we need to appreciate who they are, where they are, and at the moment in time. Sometimes what we do is we have expectations of people, and really people are who they are, and we really need to meet them where they are. We have a choice. We can either stay, we can either go. It's important for us to be able to if you want to stay, then you shift your perspective, right? Like the other day, I was at a seminar and they were like, okay, are you treating the relationship like it's ending or it's starting? And so, like, that makes a lot of sense, right? So if I'm starting the relationship, you treat them very differently than if you're ending the relationship. Then you really don't care. The way that you think about it is going to be different. The actions, the habits, how you perceive them is going to be different. How you show up is going to be different. So it's important that you check your perspective and see what is it about the situation that you're seeing and what is the story that you're telling yourself, because the only person that you can control is yourself. You can't control other people. Sometimes you just know they show you who they are, and you just work with it. Either you work with it or you figure out an exit strategy to figure out what's next. Most importantly, uh, as we head out into the next week, as we head out into the next month, we're in December. A statistic says that there's a gratitude gap, that 52% of women and 44% of men don't express gratitude regularly. And so maybe that's a new practice that we should do. So, like, I don't express it often, but I guess I should. And it's something that I'm getting used to doing too, out loud, or writing in a journal, or telling people that I'm grateful for them, because you just never know when you're going to see them, or if you're when you're going to see them next, or if you are, unexpected things happen. For me, like I mentioned before, it was just hard for me to do that, to be actually grateful, because of all the stuff that I was going through, and I had a different mindset. But now I'm really grateful to be where I'm at, and really grateful to be able to do all the things that I can do, and be able to share my life experiences with everyone, and be able to share my knowledge with everyone. I'm really grateful for all these opportunities that I've been granted, all these new experiences that I've been able to do because of all my hard work, and not living in survival mode anymore, and being at peace with where I am in life, and now focusing on the next chapter of my life, and really honing in on being loved and loving. Before, it was like hard and guarded, and it was very difficult for me to do that. But I'm really grateful for all the love and support that people have been giving and pouring into me. And I'm really grateful and happy and excited for this next chapter. And let's practice gratitude on a regular. Let's try to make it a habit, however it is that works for you. For me, I've been doing it through expressing my gratitude to my wife. Like in the morning, I'll send her a nice note, or to my kids, making sure that I take notice of those things that they're doing, like taking out the garbage, or taking out the recycling, or washing the dishes, or making dinner, cleaning up the basement. Some things, some of them are just small things, but we sometimes take them for granted, or we just not paying attention, or we're just overlooking them because we're just living life and just moving on and going from one thing to the next, instead of like stopping, pausing, and just thinking about what it is that we're grateful for. And so I'm really grateful for this opportunity to be able to share with all of you. And I look forward to the next chapter. So thank you. Take care. Thanks for tuning in to Latina Mic Drop. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. We're building something extraordinary together. If today's episode inspired you, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. For one-on-one coaching and more resources, follow me on your favorite social media platforms at author Miriam Simon, or visit my website at Miriam Simon Online. Until next time, keep turning your tattoos into pearls of wisdom and your dreams into reality. Stay strong, stay focused, and let's make history.